Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Learning to Fly. Today I have the great privilege of the oldest daughter being on the podcast, Ashleynn Thompson. Welcome. I'm really glad to have you on here. We got a lot to talk about. Let me get the laundry list out of the way real quick. If you guys get anything out of this show, we are not heavily sponsored. It's only sponsored by Basham Construction, and he's a tightwad. So share the show if you get anything out of it. Share, on your stories, on your socials. Comment, let us know what you think, any topics that we'd like to discuss. If you'd like to be on the show, let us know in the comments. I'm not hard to find, so get with me. But today, I'm very excited about today. Ashlynn is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you.
So what do you want to talk about? Are you?
I am.
Your mom, she sent me a screenshot of a text. She's like, I feel so honored to be on Ryan's podcast. I'm like, oh, whatever.
I do.
Yeah, anyway, we have 6 listeners. It's a big deal. Rogan, get out of the way, bro. I know you influenced an election, but hey, we're in town now, bro. Anyway, I'm kidding. So tell us about you. How old are you? I should know
I'm
this.
26. I had to think about it.
26.
26.
When I met you, you were, I believe, I could do the math here, actually.
I'm trying to think. You guys got married 2008.
Well, it's about 20 years. How old are you? 26?
I'm 26 now.
So you were 6.
Golly.
No.
What does it be like?
It doesn't matter.
8, 9,
Say 8 or 9. 9 came
like
to mind.
that.
Anyway, you and Duncan. Yeah, Duncan was he's the cute. Out of all the kids, at about that age, he's probably the cutest. He's a little turd, though. We'll have him on. We love you, Duncan. I love you a lot. You know that. But, I remember first meeting you, and I thought, man, I've never had a daughter. I've never had a son, because at that point I didn't have any kids. And ironically today, it's kind of funny. Things happen for a reason. Things happen timely. I was at Rural King. I had to get a big old fan for a job. And, oh, by the way, there's a bag. I'm coming to a point here. I bought a few things for the little Smidler.
Of course you did.
They're all hunting stuff and Blaze Orange.
Oh my
We're trying to really pine old mom here to let us take him out hunting.
Not this
He's
year.
only what, 10 months old?
Yes, he's 10 months.
Yeah, he's adorable. Oh
He's
my gosh.
so cute.
We should bring him in. Where's he at?
He's sleeping.
Let's wake him up.
No. He's not. He's sleeping.
Anyway,
You don't want him to wake up right now.
But the reason I'm bringing this up, the cashier lady said, I made a comment like, oh, I'm just the step grandpa. I don't like that step talk. No. And she said this, and I actually wrote it down on my phone. Actually, let me pull it up because I don't want to misquote it. I said, I'm going to use this today. And she said, she's like, you're not a stepdad. You're a dad that stepped up. And I said, holy cow, I've never heard that in my life. And I'm not going to take credit for it. But lady at Rural King, that was pretty awesome. I kind of like that. I like that mentality. Because that is true. I don't call you my stepdaughter. No. My daughter. Mm-hmm. And that whole step thing, I think, has to go away. So maybe old Trumpy Pants can get that to go away. Anyway, so growing up, when I first came into your life, till let's talk about that time to high school. How was that for you? Because you and Duncan, you guys are amazing kids. And you guys have gone through a lot, good, bad, and different, doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But you guys are incredible. And I think that's something we should talk about. You guys have gone through a lot. And just give us a little part of your journey if you want.
From just when we met to...
just your childhood. It doesn't have to be when we met. But let people get to know you a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I feel like there was a lot. There was just a lot that... happened. There was just a lot that happened, but I think growing up, it's funny whenever you're getting older and you make friends and in elementary, middle school, whatever, and you start realizing that there's different types of family dynamics. Mm-hmm. Whereas growing up, the only family dynamic I knew was I had my mom's house and then I had my dad's house. Mm-hmm. And, that was 2 separate things. And then growing up and being oh wait, there's other family dynamics. So that was really interesting. But then, like, I remember when you came into our lives, and I don't know, it was just, like, I have very vivid, like, good memories, like, one of which being, like, when we were in the Carmel house, and, like,
Our house wasn't made of caramel.
Well, no, it wasn't. You're right. Specification: the house we lived in Carmel.
I will insert a lot of dad jokes, so beware. Grab your popcorn.
It.
Yeah. So anyway.
And we're living in Carmel in this house, and it was the perfect house set up for Nerf wars.
Yes.
You remember having Nerf
How can I forget?
Or when, I don't think you and Mom were married just yet, but when you still had your house in Remington and we came over to eat and, like, we played Wii and stuff.
Yep. I know where this is going.
And you guys weren't married yet,
Bro,
I
got
think. And
full disclosure. I was trying to pine for your mom. So I was like, if I make all this, like, it looked like a dude camp. I had just enough furniture in this house. We were hunting and fishing. We didn't care about none of that. Then I get this chick to come over, your mom, and she goes, she's like, I think I'll come over to next weekend. I'm like, I have zero furniture. So I was like, well, I guess what I'm going to do is I built a bunch of furniture. So all those coffee tables at home still in the sitting room or whatever, I made all those. I made all those just because you guys were coming over, and I didn't want to look like a hillbilly or more of a hillbilly than I already am. But go on with your Wii story, because I still feel this today.
Yeah, we were playing, I think it was Wii bowling.
The best sport ever.
And I don't know, I think you had a plate or something. You were walking in or out of the living room, and I was very, very into Wii bowling. Like, you have to full arm swing, back.
Like
Yes, the whole thing. And I remember, like, still to this day, like, I mean, I was very young, and I remember swinging back and just nailing you.
I went down like a pile of bricks. It was the perfect storm. I'm walking in with something. She rears back. Bam, I'm on the floor. Jen is like, oh, my gosh. And I'm laughing because I'm like, this is too funny not to laugh at. I'm in pain, and I will never have children. That's how I felt. I was like, I'm dead. I died. I bought this Wii to kind of like, maybe the kids will want to come too. That's the whole point of the Wii. That thing was so fun, and I think we broke it. We had to buy another one. We wore it out. But do you remember when we moved to the Carmel house, not made of caramel? Do you remember that barbecue plate of chicken? Was my dad? Zeke was still alive. He tripped you or whatever. She's carrying this platter of chicken. She's a little kid.
I think I helped make it, or I was serving you guys or something.
Yeah, you did. No,
I was excited. To be serving you for whatever reason.
And we had some friends over, and poor thing, she trips over the dog. She spills all the chicken on the floor, and I think it was Ben was over.
Maybe, yeah.
We just picked that up as quick as we could because we didn't want you to
feel
bad.
Didn't we still eat it?
No, we sat up there like, it's no big deal. And I'm thinking, this girl's she's gonna lose her mind. And we ate it. I'm like, spit that. We ordered pizza because we faked like we were still hungry. Like, oh yeah, we're still hungry. Yeah, because we didn't want you to feel bad. It was adorable and hilarious all at the same time.
Do you know the commercials that the Allstate commercials where it's like, mayhem, like get Allstate.
Yes.
But you'll be better safe from mayhem like me or something like that. Cole calls me mayhem, and so he always I'm just so klutzy, and he'll be like, better get Allstate.
Well, that apple did not fall far from the tree at all. Just so you know, your mother's just as klutzy. And then I think that actually skipped over to Bo. So
I love him.
You, your mom, and Bo are all three, like, you guys should wear helmets a lot. Yeah, not in a bad way, but
the amount of times that I have woken up Levi because I have dropped something, or I have myself have fallen or something, and I have woke him up, like napping in his room. I dropped like some type of heavy object because I'm being klutzy.
Well, that heavy object might be your son. By the way, you're a mother. And we'll get to that. We haven't even gotten to your marriage. When you got married, you've had so many things in like, 4 years maybe?
We got married in 2021.
Okay.
So we've been married for
Has it
about
been
3.5
that long?
years. Yeah.
Time flies. It really does fly. It doesn't seem like that long.
But even before that too, like, been married for, I feel like when I hit 18, life just started like speeding up. And so like, it was funny. I told you I was listening to Brooklyn's podcast like right before this, and like the one that you did with her here, and Brooklyn said something. She said, she was like, middle school is just so awkward.
Yeah.
Like I don't like middle school. It's just so hard, and like I just really resonated with that. I was like, she's right. She said, and you asked her, you were like, why? Like why? And she said, it's mid. It's mid.
It's mid.
I was like,
love that.
That's so accurate. And so like, you know, I feel like, you know, middle school, high school, like there was just like a lot of things like family dynamics and like school itself and friends, and I moved a lot. Like for example, like whenever people, like where I live now, people are like, oh, where are you from? And I always have troubles answering that because like I grew up in Indy, but then I moved to Jamestown, and then I moved to Virginia, and then I moved to Plainfield, and then I was in Texas. And so like, you know, I'd had a lot of moving, and so middle school, high school was like rough. And then like I hit 18, and I think 18, 19, like things just started like drastically changing, and like the Lord just really got a hold of me in my life. And like that's when things really started changing, and I think things started to get like go on the like up and up. And then like my college days, like up until now, there's been a lot that is a lot of changes.
Yeah. A lot of growth.
I've
noticed a lot of growth. You kids, holy cow, a lot of growth. What you have done, and you know, since you turned like 19, 20 to now, you've lived a lifetime. You really have.
It's actually crazy.
Yeah. Speak a little closer to the mic.
I can do that.
Grandpa, I can hear Grandpa Scott right now. I can't hear her. That's for you, Grandpa Scott. Yeah.
So
anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
We'll keep an eye on that.
No, there is a ton of growth. I remember, man, when we went down to Texas. Actually, I want to talk about a story. It's one of my favorite stories ever. When you guys were down in Virginia, I came down to get you guys to move you back up or drive you back up. We had to get your stuff. So I met you guys on the base. You're living with your dad, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, we were on base.
That was an interesting deal, just getting there, because I'm not an Army guy.
Oh, like getting onto base?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so interesting for me. I'm sure your dad would say differently or have a different look on it maybe. But when I got in there, I'm like, it's like its own little world. Like it really, truly is. It's got a gas station. It's like, it's just so different. So I'm in there. I'm kind of like that guy, like, I got through. And I'm like, all right, now what? I don't think you guys had phones yet. Or maybe you did.
I did, because I was 16, 17.
But anyway,
18,
getting there,
17.
I just remember this. Like, we had to hurry because there was a massive storm coming. Do you remember that? It was going to rain.
We had maybe faintly I remember
load
that.
Load it all up. So it was just you, me, and Duncan. We had the truck loaded up, tarp down.
Because we were all in the front seat.
Yes, and the whole back seat was full because it was raining.
Yeah.
And we were driving home, like, you know, squished in there for 10 hours.
Yes.
Straight through, jamming. And there was this song, Cake by the Ocean. I was singing it. You guys were making fun of me. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. Like, yeah, you probably shouldn't say it. So I stopped singing it. Apparently, I had no clue what it meant. But we're road trip, and I'm calling your mom. I'm like, I don't know when we're ever going to get home. It's taking forever to get home. But I remember that trip was so fun because it was just us.
Yes.
And we never really got those opportunities to spend like that much time. I would encourage a lot of people, take a little road trip with somebody. I mean, it doesn't have to be all day, but you get to learn a lot about somebody. You have no choice but to talk or ignore each other. It's one of the two. I like the yap. So.
Do you?
Oh, a little bit. Yeah, I do a little bit. Yeah, was that a jab? It was a little bit.
It was a fun jab.
So, let's talk about this guy, Cole.
Cole.
The guy that stole you away.
No, you love Cole.
I love Cole. Cole is my guy. I could not ask for a better son-in-law.
The joke is that Cole is actually the favorite. Well,
it's
mom's favorite.
You
Besides,
want to know who your mom's favorite is?
is it Levi?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I think you're her favorite. You and Brooklyn. She doesn't like the boys as well. She loves the boys, but she thinks we're all dumbasses. She's probably not wrong. She has 5 kids. I'm the 5th.
4. Oh,
I'm
you're the 5th.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then
yeah,
Levi,
yeah.
little baby Levi, little Smidler. I love that kid. He's got a little boo-boo on his head right now. He got scraped up.
Yeah.
I got a little something coming for that too. I can't
What do
wait.
you mean? For his head?
Well, no, gosh, no, not for his head. Your mom, I said, make this shirt for him. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Okay.
It's a thing.
I got you.
I'm excited about it.
I'm excited.
But okay, so where are we at?
Cole.
I love Cole. Tell us some things like how you guys met. Give us a little backstory on that.
I love that story.
Okay, we all do. Yep, we all do.
Cole. So Cole's also from Indiana. So I'm from Indiana originally, and Cole's from Indiana. And Cole's from like southern Indiana, so like the Bloomington area. We live in a little town called Bloomfield, and that's where Cole's originally from, and he's lived there his whole life. And so we both have lived in Indiana, grew up in Indiana, but we did not meet until I moved to Texas, which is really funny.
Yep.
I had to move across the country in order to meet Cole, because we've talked about this a lot, because it's just like there's just a lot of things that like God had puzzle pieces that he was building. And it's just funny that like if I didn't go to Texas, like we probably just wouldn't have met. And so I had moved to Texas to go to this little Bible college in Bedford, Texas. It's called Messenger College. And they had this internship where we went to different camps across like the nation and everything. And so the year that I did that internship, Cole also did that internship. And so that's how we met originally, and that was in 2018, I believe. And then we were friends and everything. And it's funny, Cole at the time like was very like anti-girl. He was like, I don't want to date, I don't want to marry, I'm just gonna be single with the Lord for the rest of my life, and I'm just gonna like I'm just gonna serve God. I don't want to have anything to do with like marriage or anything. Like he just was like, I'm gonna stay away from girls. And so at the time when we met, I was actually dating somebody still. And so Cole had said that was the only reason that we were friends, because he was like, well, she's dating somebody like pretty serious, so I can be friends with her.
Sure.
Like,
Great strategy, dude. I like it. Great strategy.
And so we were like, okay, we were friends and everything. And then the boyfriend and I, the one I was dating at the time, we broke up on that internship. And like, no joke, I mean, like we were really good. Cole and I were really good friends on this internship. And then whenever my boyfriend broke up, Cole avoided me like the plague. Would not talk to me.
Another great move, Cole.
Yeah.
Took one right out of the playbook, buddy.
And so did not talk to me, nothing. And because he just felt like, the Lord was like, you need to give her space. And so I then entered into like a year of singleness. Like I didn't date anybody. I just focused on like myself, and I focused on specifically like my relationship with God. And that's where I, in my opinion, grew the most in that year. Was during that year of singleness, and that was like 2018, 2019. And then the next year, so summer 2019, so it's a year since that last internship, I was now leading that same internship, and Cole was at one of the camps that we were going to. And
Sly devil. I like it.
Virginia camp. So we were in Virginia, and he was at that camp, and then I was there like with my team, and we just like got connected again, and just he didn't want to admit it, but he was heavily flirting with me the whole week. And there's lots of fun side stories with that. But basically by the end of the camp, he had left camp, and his sister Addie, who was she was probably only like a 7th grader at the time maybe. 7th, 8th grade, and she was with him, and they were leaving the camp, and she was like, did you get her number? Like, and he's like, what are you talking about? And she was like, she likes you. Like, what are you doing? And so we ended up getting connected like that week and talked, and then we started dating, and for the next year, a little over a year, we dated while I finished school in Texas because I was entering my senior year, or my junior year, I think.
The best way to break up or for him to like get rid of that, if he would, he should have said, "Hey, this is what I used to do when I broke up with girlfriends. I just became an astronaut." They're like, "Huh? Yeah, I need some space." And they're like did he just leave? That's a horrible dad joke. Sorry.
That was a bad.
So, how long did you guys date? I should know this. How long did you guys date before he asked you to marry him?
So we started dating in, I think it was like August of 2019, and we got engaged June. So sorry, babe, if I'm getting this wrong.
You sound just like your mother.
I think June of 2020, because it was after COVID, I'm pretty sure, when we got engaged.
Yeah.
And so that's dumb how we mark everything by COVID.
Yeah,
sorry.
we don't use that.
Side trail.
Yeah.
But so yeah, 2020. It was about a year of dating, and then it was about a year engagement, and it honestly would have been shorter. Like, I think I know he would have proposed sooner, and we would have gotten married sooner. But I was in Texas still finishing school, and I felt like that's where I needed to be. And Cole, like, was like, I need to be here. And because he was helping at where we are now, like in our ministry, but he was helping at the youth group at his church. And he just felt like he wasn't supposed to leave. Mm-hmm. And so our entire dating and engagement was long distance. Like
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, our honeymoon was the longest time span of time we had spent together.
Yeah, I do recall that. Yeah. I recall when you moved, we came down to Texas to move you back. Did I ever share this story with you?
I don't know.
Your younger sister will remind you of it because of me. We were driving. We got that little U-Haul. We put all your stuff in there. Mm-hmm. And I think you had to do something. We were just driving back. So it was just Bo, Brooklyn, your mom, and I. Yeah. And we're driving through Texas, through Oklahoma, somewhere. Anyway, it's getting dark. It's midnight. And I look down, and I got like 30 miles to empty. And I am nowhere to be seen. There's no gas station. I need diesel. No. So your mom is like typing. You know how she is. Well, in about 50 miles up here, there looks like a gas station. And I'm like, looks like a gas? I need fuel, lady. I need some fuel.
Less than 50 miles.
And the kids, Brooklyn, they're little. They were middle
school. Maybe not even.
I think they were
school.
4th or 5th graders.
Yeah.
But anyway, Brooklyn back then was really emotional. Like, you could really get her to cry easy.
Very anxious.
Well, I'm thinking we're back in the sticks. We're back in cornfields. We're in a state I've never been, and a truck that's got 30 miles of fuel, and it's dark, and it's around a Halloween time. Maybe not. I don't know. All I could think of was Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, all that stuff. I'm like, we're all gonna die. And I start talking about this, half joking, half not, to Jen. I thought the kids had their little things on. Well, Brooklyn's flipping out. She's like, "We're gonna die." I'm like, "We're not gonna die." And like, it was kind of like that planes, trains, automobiles. Like, everybody's spinning. We're all freaking out.
Yeah.
We finally find this gas station, literally out in the woods. I'm not even making this up. You can hear music way in the back. There's a ton of cars, but there's no people. None. Not a single person. It's all self-serve. So I wheel up there.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to get out and get fuel. I said, lock the truck. If I don't make it back, just get in and go. That's what I told them. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, I'm pretty serious.
Yeah. We
get fuel. We make it home. And the rest is history. But to this day, Brooklyn is like, you scarred me for life. I thought we were going to die. I thought, for a minute, I kind of did too. # sorry.
I'm going to have to ask her about that tonight.
Yeah, definitely. That was definitely one for the books. But you had to be there. But so you get done with college, you get married. Tell us about your engagement. Tell us about your wedding. It was a beautiful wedding. Is out, and you take it from there.
Yeah. So yeah, we like got engaged like the summer before my senior year of college, which sorry.
We have a cough button. Don't worry about it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to press that a lot because I'm definitely getting over some type of cold.
Oh, great.
But if you get sick, it's not from me. So yeah, but we, being engaged my senior year of college was interesting because like in my senior year, like especially like, I think it was the last semester I did this, I had to do a thesis paper. Basically, I had a thesis, and it was good, but it was so hard. And so like trying like doing things like that. I also like I went to Bible college, and so literally like if anybody wants to go to Bible college, like all we do is that I just wrote so many papers.
Really?
So many.
You keep them?
In my computer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, I have gone back to some of my papers for like sermons or stuff like
There's
that.
some nuggets there. Yeah.
So I'm glad that I did it. But like I had all these papers to write. I had these different projects. I think if I remember, I was on student leadership that year. I think maybe it was my junior year. I don't know. But I was doing a lot of like leadership things, and I had a lot going on top of like trying to plan a wedding that was also in a different state. So like all my family and Cole, and then like the venue, it was all in Indiana.
Yeah.
And so that was very, very hard, and there was a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of crying all the time.
Yep.
But I had very good friends around me who got me through it. And not only that, but I had like you guys and Cole's family here that you guys just did like so much, like to be able to like help with a lot of things physically that I just couldn't do because I was in Texas.
Well, that's funny you say stuff like that. I just did a podcast not too long ago about like giving back. That doesn't mean like giving back monetarily or anything of that nature. A lot of people think that's what it is. But giving back is really helping other people, like paying it forward, so to speak. And I see you guys doing that a lot. I think that is very, very, very critical nowadays, is to become selfless. And you guys are the epitome of that. You guys do a great job of that. I think in this world, we have too much. And Cooper is my he is my best friend. But he brought this to my attention. There's too much on us, like about too much selfishness in this world. Like, what can I get? What's in it for me? That we need more of the other way. And you guys have been such great stewards of that and examples of that, especially for your younger brothers and sisters and the people that you guys lead. We'll talk about 180 here in a minute, but I think all that ties together. I love how you guys give back in ways that you can't really measure it. And I think to me that is the coolest thing ever, is to be able to say, hey, like my dad has done so much stuff for me. He's not here anymore. But I do things, and my mom too. Yeah. My mom, holy smokes, like she's Mother awesome. Teresa, then mom. Like that's where mom was.
Yes.
I do so many things that nobody will ever know about in her honor. And that's my way of saying thank you. You know what I mean? And I see you guys doing that all the time with your one, like you guys do all the church camps. I mean, we don't go to every one of them, but we go to every one in the summertime. There's a lot of work involved. There's a lot of patience being tested. There's a lot of sleepless nights, but that's giving back. I mean, you guys just do that without being asked. And I think that is very, very noble. And it's especially at your guys' age, hell, keep doing that. That is where it's at. I don't care about money. I don't care about fame. I don't care about any of that crap. That's where it's at, what you guys are doing. So keep that up. I see your little brothers and sisters doing the same thing, following your example. And I just want to let you know that's the ultimate cool thing that you guys do. It's better than anything you can do. So keep that up. So carry on. I always interrupt. I get in trouble for interrupting.
I'm here. I'm just here.
I know.
I like listening as much as I like talking.
Not to change the subject, but running a podcast, talking to Jeff, it is kind of terrifying sometimes because you don't know. Like when you're the guy that's supposed to talk,
Yes.
do all the talking. I don't talk a lot, really. So this is out of my comfort zone to do this. But Brooklyn, your younger sister, you said you listened to her podcast. She goes, how about I run it next time? And I said, bet. So next time she's on, guess what? She's going to be running this, and I'm going to be the guest. And I hopefully
she's a natural.
she kind of is.
I was like,
like
where's Brooklyn's? This is good.
I know.
I just
Wait, she's better than old dad?
That's not
Christmas
what I'm
is coming.
saying. I just
That's what she's saying. It's okay. It's okay.
well, just especially for her age.
Yeah, no, both of you. I think you guys are, all four of you kids are awesome.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. So
Yeah.
let's talk about a little bit about the 180, because I know that is to me that's really cool too. Not a lot of people talk about it, like what it is, like what your mission is. Obviously, it's faith based and all that. Just give us a little 60-second commercial on that.
That's a huge part of our life.
Yeah.
And like, after we got married, we got married, we went on our honeymoon missions trip, and then we came back, and I mean, we pretty much immediately, we got married in May of 2021, and then we started at 180 in August of 2021. So our whole marriage, this is what we've been doing. And so 180 is our student ministry. Well, it's not ours. We are honored to serve in the 180 ministry as the youth pastors currently. And so it's a youth group at our church, Tulip Church of God in Bloomfield, Indiana. And it is I love it. I love it. I remember the moment that God kind of put it on both mine and Cole's heart separately that this was where we were supposed to be, was 180. And it is being a youth pastor and being at 180 is everything that I thought it would be and nothing that I thought it would be.
That's interesting.
Because, it's everything I thought it would be, as in, I get to have really great relationships with middle schoolers and high schoolers, and to just listen to them and develop relationship with them. And, through that relationship, I get the blessing to watch God work in their lives. It's just the coolest thing. It's just so cool to watch, especially now that we've been in here for 3.5 years now, and you take someone who started as a 7th grader, and or we started and we had some freshmen and now they're seniors, and to just watch how they've grown and how God has been a part of their lives the last 3.5-4 years is just so cool. But also at the same time, it's nothing like I thought it would be, because leadership is just very hard, and leadership in ministry is just very hard.
Leadership's lonely.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
And that's funny. I was just talking to someone about that this week. But the first year of being at 180, I wanted to quit. I just wanted to quit.
Bro, I want to quit almost every day, if I'm being honest. I'm being dead serious.
It's hard.
There's days I just want to quit, but you can't.
No.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep going. And I remember it was at the end of the, so we had the school year. We started in August, and this was July. So we were almost coming up to a year of being there. And I remember being on a missions trip, and there was just a lot that had happened that year and that summer. And I remember sitting outside of the building we were at for this missions trip in Kentucky. And I remember sitting on the curb with Cole and just bawling. And I'm telling Jeff is my pastor, not Jeff here, but I was I'm telling Pastor Jeff that I'm quitting. I can't do this.
That's your
I'm
new nickname,
quitting.
Jeff, Pastor Jeff. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
And I just was I can't do this. I'm quitting. That's what I told Cole. And I was maybe this was not what I was supposed to be doing. And I mean, I was so serious. We were going home, I think the next day, and I was going to go to my pastor and be sorry, bud, I can't do this anymore. But and I went back or I think the next day, so it was the day before we left, and I had one of our leaders who was with us there, and he ended up getting me talking about what I was feeling, and he just listened and empathized with me, but we were working on someone's house, like it was like a house building type of missions trip project, and I remember we were planting grass that day, ironically, because we were planting grass, and the leader who I was talking to at the time listened to me, empathized with me, and he's like, okay, what are we doing today? Like, what are we planting? And I'm like, well, we're planting grass. And he was like, okay. And he was like, so whenever you plant this seed, like, and you come back tomorrow, like, is the grass going to be there? And I was like, well, no, like it's going to, like, it takes some time to grow. And he was like, exactly, like it takes time to grow. And he was
So
like,
good.
just because you haven't seen the fruit that, like, in this first year, it doesn't mean that there's not going to be fruit.
Man, that's gold.
And you just have to, and he was like, one of my Galatians 6:9, one of my students quotes it to me like all the time. It's like our thing, but do not grow weary of doing good.
I was going to say that.
Mind reader.
I was going to say that. Whatever.
And so
I know like one Bible verse. That's it.
What
John
is it?
3:16.
I knew it.
And I know a lot more, not by heart though. Yeah.
But that's a good one.
Yeah.
And so, he was like, Galatians 6:9, like, do not grow weary of doing good. And, we have to plant the seed. And then he also reminded me, and this like a story in the Bible too, a parable where it talks about, the different seeds being thrown on different ground. And he was like, and he again was referring back to like us, we're literally planting grass seeds like right here.
I love it.
And there was different terrain where we were, and he was like, if you're gonna throw the seeds over here, like, in the rocky soil and everything, or over here like in the sand, like there was different areas where the seed was gonna catch, and then other areas where the seed was not going to catch, and it was not going to grow. And like it wasn't my job necessarily to determine, well, I'll just plant some seed here and not some there. Like, it was just to plant the seed. And if it was going to grow, it was going to grow, because like, so that really just marked me for like leadership and my continuation, like at 180, like after that conversation. And then I talked more to my pastor, like, I'm like, okay, like I just have to persevere. And I like think back to that week and that moment a lot, because like now, like these last like 2 years have been just so good and so rich, like in 180. And now we have like, I have some seniors who are getting ready to graduate, and like just literally a couple weeks ago, I was crying about some of them about to graduate, because just of the relationships that have been built. And I just can't even count the number of just rich conversations I've gotten to have with students, and just the countless numbers of miracles, and the different kids that have been saved or baptized. And like we've gotten to just be a part of so many different things over the last 2 years, and we've gotten to be a part of so many different students' journeys with the Lord. And I just am so glad that I didn't quit, and I'm so glad that leader kind of like, he didn't just like leave me where I was at.
Yeah.
He listened to me and empathized with me, but he was like, let's not.
He encouraged you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Encouragement's a huge thing. So I love that story. I've never heard that before. And I love that the whole story of planting seed that takes a minute to grow. That is leadership. Leadership's not easy. It's probably one of the most terrifying and rewarding things you'll ever do. It's not immediate though. I shared a story about a young lady, and daggone, I wish I remembered her name. I think it's Bailey. Pretty sure it is. Anyway, little girl wanted to pitch, smallest kid on the team. I said, if you want to pitch, I'll get you pitching. And make a very long story short, this has nothing to do with me. It's all about the kid. Fast forward 3 years later, like I got this kid, she got some reps, she got some real game time, 1 inning a game, something like that. 3 years later, I'm still coaching Brooklyn softball, and there's that little Bailey starting pitcher and smoked our butts.
Wow.
And I went up there and I said, good job. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is basically a seed that was planted. Nobody was going to give that kid an opportunity to pitch. Nobody. Like, but I'm like, if you want to pitch, by God, we're going to go pitch.
Yeah.
Again, has nothing to do with me, but somebody gave her the chance, and somebody gave her that self-belief and believed in her and encouraged her, and by good, like, she's off to the races. Same thing with you and your leadership. You wanted to not lay down, you wanted to quit.
Yeah.
But that guy, that's another cool thing about grace and people that know this and have the patience. They know that you're probably not going to listen to a lot of things they say immediately, but if you hang on to it a year down the road, you might use it. And that's when that light bulb, or that's when that seed pops out of the ground and you get to watch it grow. It's very, very cool. I'll never forget my grandpa Schwab. Speaking of that Remington house, I just moved into that house. I bought it off my mom. I was 20 years old. I was putting the washer and dryer in. I had to change a 220 plug, and for some reason, I was fumbling with. I was cussing, and I come from a long line of pastors. Long line of pastors. It skipped my dad and I. This is my ministry, and I'm cussing. And I'm like, damn it! And Grandpa Schwab comes in, calm as a cucumber. He's like, hey, give me a couple minutes with that. I was like, whatever, you old man, you can't do this. He gets there, he whips his pocket knife out, he's blah, blah, blah. He's talking to him, he's sharing a story. All of a sudden, plugs it in and it's running.
Wow.
And I looked at that guy, and I never forgot it. I'm like, dang, man, that's what grace is. That's what forgiveness is. That's what patience is. He had all those things in one. Of course, he was retired, but it doesn't matter. He didn't get all huffy and puffy. Of course, I was 20, so I probably full of piss and vinegar is what they used to say. But it's those things that stick with you, those little moments. Not all the moments have to be home runs or grand slams. It's the little ones that, quite frankly, are the bigger ones. So I love that story. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any more?
I don't know if we have enough time for.
Oh, we got time. Pastor Jeff over here. He
Jeff.
says we got 25 more minutes. No, I love that story. I love how you and Cole do it together. That's very rare, and it's very rare to see you guys do it as well as you do. You guys respect each other, and I think that is the key to a solid marriage. Is just respect and knowing where the other person's coming from. You know, your mom, she runs Shirt Tails, so I don't know what her day is like. I do the construction thing. She don't know what my day is like. When those two worlds collide, it could be an explosion. It's not.
Yeah.
But we've had to figure out how to manage that. Just like you guys. You guys are young, and guess what we haven't talked about yet? The little Smidler. My little buddy. The big boy. You said it, mentioned
What's
big
up,
boy.
big boy?
I call him Big Boy. He is the most cutest thing I ever saw in my life. He's my buddy. I wish he was here. We'd bring him in. But I tell you what.
He's awake.
You know, well, call him up. It blew me away that you got, like, your mom now. I was telling your mom, I can't believe that your mom was a grandma.
It's weird. Grammy.
Yeah, grandma. Yeah.
Grammy, Grampy.
One of these days I'll be a grandpa. I'm too young and pretty to be a
You're
grandpa.
not grandpa, you're Grampy.
I joke to your mom, like, I'm too young and pretty to be a grandpa.
You are the youngest of the grandparents.
That is true. Am I?
You are.
Man.
Yeah, out of everyone. You're
I don't
the
know. Maybe I'll
youngest
get a medal
grandparent.
for that. I love that little guy. I just do. I FaceTime him all the time. He fell down because he might be running by now. He's only 10 months.
He was standing by himself today.
Really?
Yeah. It's
But he's
crazy.
got a little cut right there.
He looks like Harry Potter right now.
It is so awesome. I'm like, dude, you look so cool right now. He's got and everybody's
huge.
like, oh, he looks so sad. I'm like, he looks tough. Don't whip him up. He's a tough little kid. He is. I've never seen a baby he's perfect. He's big, he's tough, doesn't want to sit still. Now he will sit with me when we read books a little bit. But it's usually when he's wants to fall asleep. It has nothing to do with me.
That's
my favorite.
He loves to be active and he's very crazy, but when he's like tired or in the mood or doesn't feel good or something, he's a cuddle bud.
Oh,
He's
there's
so
nothing
cuddly.
better than that.
Yeah.
When he's that way. But he'll let you know how he feels about it, you know?
He's very vocal.
Yeah. What has been the biggest, outside of not sleeping anymore, what's been the biggest hurdle being a mom, a first-time mom?
Gosh, I actually feel like I've been reflecting on this a lot lately. So whenever you texted me and you mentioned like the motherhood thing, I was like, that's crazy because like
It's hard to even think about.
yeah, like well, and it's funny too that you mentioned like, you know, how Cole and I do 180 together because that's like so like I said, like for pretty much as long as we've been married, like we've been doing ministry together. Like, you know, even before we started at 180, like we were on a missions trip together. Like, and then we helped at a camp. Like we just have always done ministry together. Like very, like like, you know, it wasn't like one was doing more than the other necessarily. Like we were very much doing
Oh,
it.
no. I got a story I want to bring up. Sorry
Wait,
to interrupt.
what?
I will never forget. I wish I had this on video. We do, actually. You got to lead worship one day, and we watched it online. It was during COVID. And
Yeah.
you were, somebody needs to help me with this. You were basically bossing Cole around from the pulpit. I'll never forget.
I don't even
Do you remember this?
that.
You
No.
don't? You're like, babe, give me this. Oh, give me that list too real quick. And you're like up there leading the thing. And I'm like, that poor son of... Oh, he was leading worship. You said, start playing the piano.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
I don't know. Maybe.
And you're like, start doing that. And I'm like, man, that apple did not fall far from it. It was so funny.
I just knew. I don't know. Well, sometimes, yeah, I definitely was super bossy, probably.
No.
I can be like that, though.
Well,
I can
mean, I don't
be.
know where you get that from. Maybe your dad. I don't know. I don't know your dad that well. But I admire how you guys are able to do that because a lot of couples, a lot of older couples, they can't do that.
It's hard.
They don't know how to do that.
It's hard to work together. It's hard to be married and
Marriage is hard.
work together. Marriage is hard.
Yeah.
And so, so, you know, we've always done it together, and that had its own challenges and hurdles and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, you know, right before Levi was born, like a few months, we made like a plan of like, okay, you know, because we were like, we know that this is going to look different.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're going to have a baby to take care of. And so we just talked about like what we think that was going to look like. And we were like, you know, okay, like we'll bring him to the church. And, you know, we just were like, we'll keep doing the same thing, but we'll just incorporate Levi into it. And that is just nothing like, you know, nothing like we thought that it would be. And like, it's just so crazy. Like, again, I feel like motherhood is everything that I thought it would be and nothing like I thought it would be at the same time. Like,
That's interesting.
It's motherhood, like becoming a mom. Like I get to, so now like our role at 180, like, and at the church and everything, like it's almost kind of like switched. Like Cole has taken on, I'm very thankful for Cole. I love Cole a lot too. He's just
Get in
awesome.
line, lady.
He's just awesome.
He is.
I'm excited
Yeah.
for everybody to meet
We
him,
originally
'cause
wanted to have both of you on, but somebody's got to watch the little baby.
it is. Cole should have his own podcast too.
Well,
'cause
we'll bring
he's
him
awesome.
in. Yeah, no, he'll be next. I guess this podcast when it started, I'm trying to spread out the family stuff. It's very hard to do a podcast if I'm being honest, and scheduling it. We all run our businesses. Jeff runs a very successful, awesome business, and when we can all get together, I think that's when the magic happens.
Oh yeah.
But it's very hard to do that. It's hard
Yeah.
it's hard to run a podcast. I don't even know what it's like for Jeff to
Poor Jeff.
produce the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys could see what I'm seeing, I mean this guy's got it down. This is a nice place. So
Alright.
anybody wanting to do a podcast, call Jeff.
Yes.
He'll do it for you. He does a wonderful job. Where were we?
We were talking about
squirrel moments.
I know.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
I was talking about Cole. And Cole picked up a lot more stuff, like when Levi was born, because I had maternity leave, so I wasn't doing anything. And then whenever I did have Levi, like I kind of transitioned into like stay-at-home mom, and so Cole's doing a lot more. And I still help with 180, and I'm still a part of 180. I just do a lot more of the just kind of focus on a lot more relational aspect, and a lot of the background like administration stuff I was doing, I'm not doing as much, and Cole's just like taken on.
Yeah.
And so like that in of itself has been one hurdle, because like, you know, I just went from like doing ministry and like all like the background of it like all day every day, and like I still do, but like I'm at home with Levi now like a lot, and it's kind of been hard to be like, okay, you know, when I'm like, where's the line between me being mom and me being me, I guess. Like the identity thing has been really hard, and you know, especially because like I nurse Levi, and so like currently, especially like, you know, we're trying to nurse him until a year, like Levi just has to be with me.
Yeah.
And so like if I am doing some type of like trip or something like that, like I have to go do something and not Cole isn't necessarily involved, like I still have to take Levi with me. And so he's just with me all the time, which is really great. But it also can like wear on a person, and it can be hard, and it can also like, you know, it was interesting you said leadership can be lonely, like motherhood feels lonely a lot. And I just like this week I called my mother-in-law like sobbing, because I was like, I feel like I'm the only one who feels this way. I'm a horrible mom. I feel like I'm failing as a mom. I feel like I was really frustrated because Levi's become very clingy, and I currently cannot do anything. And I was just so frustrated, and I was like, I just don't, like, you know, is something wrong with Levi? Is something wrong with me? And I just felt very alone in how I was feeling. And, you know, I also was like, I can't get my house together. I can't do work. I'm behind on this and this and this. And she was like, and I just feel like everybody else has it figured out, and I don't have it figured out. And she was like, that is a lie. Like, that is a lie from the enemy. And she was like,
I would agree with that.
She was like, you know, you're looking at everybody's front porch, but like you don't see, like when you're driving by the house and everything, like you don't necessarily see the backyard, and you don't necessarily see the inside of the house.
That's social media.
It was, and that's a huge part of it. Like, and I've, you know, as a mom and a nursing mom, like I'm
that's
just
a great
scrolling.
piece of advice, by the way. That's unbelievable advice. I love that.
It was so good. And she was like, you know, you can't be stuck on looking at their front porch when,
such good advice.
You know, in the backyard, like it's looking like you. And you know, you just can't compare yourself to that. And that really, really helped me a lot, because I really have struggled with like comparison, and in turn, like because of the comparison to social media, like that's, you know, I'm only, you know, you're only seeing what's in front of the camera, like, and it's this beautiful island and all this snack that they made, but like the kitchen sink is probably a mess for making all that, and like you don't see that on social media. And so I'm sitting here comparing myself to only what I'm seeing, a snippet of someone's life. And because of what I'm seeing, I then am in turn being like, you know, identifying myself as a failure as a mom. And it's like, you know, that's not true.
It's absolutely not true.
I hope not.
I can assure you of that. It's not true. It is 100% not true.
I would say that's definitely the biggest hurdle, is the comparison, and then like the loneliness. And because like I was like, you know, kind of thinking about before I came up here and everything, of like just praying of like, okay, God, like what, like I want you to, like I want to share what you want others to hear or whatever, and to encourage other people. And because I think that I didn't, like before becoming a mom, I never realized the loneliness and the comparison that was involved in that. And I think a lot more moms struggle with that than I realized.
I don't know, because I'm not
well,
a mom.
Yeah.
But I can see it. I can certainly see it. My sisters, I think, felt a little that way. I'm sure your mom did.
I don't think anybody, like not a lot. I never heard people talk about it. Like I don't.
Well, we need to talk about it. Yeah, that's the beauty of podcasts, is, you know, you can choose to listen to it. You don't have to listen to it. But I think that leadership part, we got to hammer on that. It is lonely, and there is not a bigger critic than yourself.
Yeah.
You know, when I started Basham Construction, like I'll be fully transparent, I was as broke as a joke. I've had money, I've not had money 100 different times in my life, right?
Yeah.
And when you say money, that doesn't mean millions of dollars. I'm just saying you got a little scratch in your pocket. It's not anything more than that. But that doesn't define you. You know, what defines you is your actions and how you treat other people and how you lead your family and how you ignore the outside noise. I mean, I just did a podcast that I absolutely hate. I just did it before he walked in here. And Jeff said it's one of the best ones. And I'm like, dude, I don't think so. He's like, no, it is. You know? So what I'm trying to say in that is I think half the things I do are junk because I have this will to be better or this will to help other people be better. And that could be a better anything. It'd be a better business owner, father, anything. Just be better, right? Yeah. If you have that, true leaders always second guess themselves. You second guess yourself all the time. And you think, and if you let it get too far, then you talk yourself out of being a leader or doing the things you set out to do. That's why you need people that you trust and love to be your accountability partner. Had Jeff not said what he said, that would have been in the trash can. And that there's probably a couple nuggets of gold for someone out there that they may attach onto and then they take it from there, right? It's back to that paying it forward thing. Yeah. I'm nobody. I don't think I'm anybody special, but I've done some cool things. There's no way, and I'm not going to use any language because I love you. There's no way, and it's hard for me because you know me. There's no way I'd be who I am without the people in my life. Yeah. I'm about to have Alan Eshy on, and this guy is like one of the top dudes that I look up to. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to like tear up and cry and anything like that, but that man means a lot to me. Yeah. If it wasn't for him on all levels of my life, not just work, I owe that guy a ton of gratitude. And the way that I do that is I build my business and I do the best I can. You could ask anybody that works with me, not for me, with me, if their lives hadn't gotten better. Not because of me, just because of the opportunity and the core values that we have. I mean, I would not question or encourage people to all have some core values in your life. You have them. You may not have them written down like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you know what your core values are, your values in life. And that is what gets you over the hump when you're self-doubting yourself. There's a ton of little life hacks that I've learned. I'm 46 years old, and I didn't really start applying them until I was 42. I just talked about it. Like 4 years ago, I'm like, dude, I'm getting it together. And if you look back 4 years ago, you can see this. Yes. 4 years ago from what 4 years ago was today, it doesn't look like today. Not even close. Yeah. Absolutely. So those are the things that I'm trying to pay forward to people, especially the youth. Like, hey, don't listen to these jokers on TV. Social media is a garbage dump. It really, truly is. Yeah. When my mom died, that's when I got on social media. You want to know why? I don't know if I've ever told anybody this. When my mom died, it was the worst day of my life. But I went through her Instagram. I didn't know what Instagram was. And I saw all these pictures of her holding, Bo in Brooklyn, her walking through East. She always did pictures with you and Duncan. She loved you guys. She loved you guys so much.
She's so
and
good.
I thought the light bulb went on. I was like, dang, this is a live, living diary. And that's why I got on social media. And I got on social media to capture, and there's another realtor, very good friend of ours, that I kind of followed her. And I don't know that she does it for those reasons, but I think partially she does. It's kind of a living photo library of your life. Now take that away to today. Social media is not like that anymore. Social media is a place where you go to complain and blah, 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 blah. However, that's why I'm still on it. I post things that matter to me that hopefully will encourage people, especially on my stories, because I can see who sees them. And that's how I know if I'm doing good or not. That's my barometer. It's not about me. It's not about accomplishments or anything like that. It's about leveling up and making people better, right? So back to that leadership struggle that you have, feeling like you're on an island a lot, is perfectly natural. And it ain't going to go away. You could ask the guy that just won the presidency. I'm sure he has a lot of self-doubt. I know it doesn't look like it, but everybody has it. I don't care who you are. Joe Rogan has it. Everybody has it. Everybody deals with it. Some people, it just looks better than others. So you're going to self-doubt. You're going to be critical on yourself, but that is a healthy thing, believe it or not. And I'm glad that you were able to overcome it. I'm very thankful for that guy that told you about that seed in the ground. That is pretty cool.
You know what's funny about that too is it's Austin Harris. So
I know Austin.
You do.
We grew up together.
That's who it was.
He's only a year younger than me. Just kidding. He's quite a bit younger than me. That guy's ahead of his time.
He's awesome.
Sorry for the drink of the Gatorade.
You're fine. That was the guy who encouraged me and really helped me. So it was funny, again, sitting here talking about him.
Austin Harris is one of the most humblest guys I've ever known.
He was in Cole's wedding.
I know.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, don't you?
Cole was in his wedding. No,
he was.
You just said he was in Cole's wedding. Wait, isn't it your wedding?
It's my
I'm pretty sure it was your wedding.
He was in our wedding.
Cole was just a guest of honor. It was Ashlynn's wedding. Trust me. It was not. I was like, wait, what? What are you
talking? That was very poor phrasing.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, I don't speak very well either. So, no, he's. I tell you, I can't say enough nice things about him. For real, Austin is. Man, yeah. I'm glad you're around him. I'm glad that we have a little like Remington history because he's from Remington. That's kind of neat to me, and he's down there with you guys. And I can't say enough good things about him, and that's a great influence. But let's get back to. We got about 10 more minutes. Let's talk about the Smidler a little bit more.
Levi.
Yeah, Arter Levi.
Arter,
yeah.
Arter
I call him.
Levi
I like to call him
Thompson.
Artie, and everybody's like, "What?" I'm like, I know.
Artie, big boy.
Smidler. I love him so much. I can't wait to grab him, hold him, talk to him. What's the next 5 years look like?
With Levi?
Just with your family, your lives. You got to think ahead. You got to make plans. Dream big, think big, and don't let anybody tell you can't do it. What's your next 5 years look like? I know what mine looks like.
I think, I think we're gonna be in Bloomfield for a little while, and
yeah, I know.
and despite Ryan's efforts,
I said, "Hey, I got a business. I'd like for you two kids to take over."
It's very tempting.
I'll create another business. I don't mind. I'll buy a coffee shop. Whatever we got to do to get. I just really want you down here closer to your mom and me closer to the Smidler. Yeah, no. But anyway.
But yeah, I think just, continuing to be in ministry. And as of currently, my hope is to homeschool Levi. That's my hope, is to homeschool him. So I guess I would be, in 5 years, I would probably be starting that process.
I know a lot of people that homeschool. So if you need anybody to lean on, like Carrie that works with us, she did it for a long time. Okay. Aunt Jess, my sister Jessica did it. Very, very noble thing. I just had a school board member. He actually got it. We only have winners on this podcast, by the way. If you're on a podcast, you're winning, bro. So
I feel like a winner.
Anyway, he's on the board now. But where were we going with that?
Homeschooling.
Oh, I made a comment because I listened to the whole panel of everybody talk or whatever because I was about to have him on, so I wanted to listen to it.
Yeah.
And it kind of dawned on me, like, we're talking about a public school. And I don't know why I got a light bulb moment because I'm pretty simple. And I'm like, if it's really that deep, because people are like dogging on some of the what they call tough topics that really aren't that tough. Yeah. If it's that deep, you have other options. You can homeschool. You can go to private school. There's other things to do instead of complaining or whatever, just settling for public school, which I don't think you are settling for that. There's just other options. I like people that don't complain and they find a different solution to their problem or whatever, and then they don't talk about it. And I just think that's pretty admirable that people can think for themselves that way. But I kind of went off on a rabbit trail. So back to the 5-year plan or your next 5 years, like what ambitions do you have outside of you just?
I think I guess currently on the radar, I guess, would be two things. One, so we just had a girls' retreat, like with high school girls this past weekend, and we had 12 girls, and which was like, so my goal was like 15. So like that was pretty close to my goal.
That's pretty good.
And it was a really good weekend. It was a very great weekend. And the Lord just did. It was just really cool. I'm very glad to be a part of that. And our hope is, and Cole does a boys retreat too in the fall. He does like a camping trip, and so our
He
hope,
just did one.
yeah, his was like a month before mine, I
Yeah.
think. And so our hope is to continue doing like those kind of retreats moving forward, and I don't know, for like just whatever the Lord wants to do with that. And then I was just telling you right before we started, like I think probably the next venture, I guess, is we have some very good friends of ours, our best friends, who live in Virginia, ironically. We, I think, are going to start a podcast in the new year. That's what we've said, and I just said it here on this podcast. So Dallas and Emily, I kind of just set it in stone.
Ooh.
So sorry, my bad.
Yeah, no, that's a good thing.
But
that's a good
that's
thing.
probably like the next, like, you know, those are the things that I can think of.
Yeah.
And as of right now, other than just being in Bloomfield and just.
I'll ask it for your mom. I'm not asking it. Any more
What?
grandkids coming? No, I didn't
What
ask
is it?
What did I say? I just asked it. I said it really softly. Any more grandkids coming?
Oh.
In the plans in the next 5 years?
Currently.
I don't know if I can love another one. I was telling your mom this. I don't know about that.
He's pretty. Some days I'm like, Levi.
Okay, so you got the Smidler,
Yes.
Levi, here, right?
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, hey, what am I supposed to do with, hey? You know what I mean? I'm right here with it. I don't know what to do. So just table
I think
it.
you would love him.
Table it. Just table
love
it.
him, her, whatever it would be. But.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's crazy. I can't wait to see him. You know what I mean? It's like Christmas every time he's around. He's so fun.
We joke that you're Levi's #1 fan. And
I am.
you just get so excited to
I
see
do.
him.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but every time we FaceTime, it's because I want to. And every time I send you guys, yeah, you guys know that. Every time I send you guys a group, because we have the best family group chats.
Yeah.
And I'll say, guys, sorry, your mom is really on me. She wants to see a picture of the Smidler. I know it's
Poor
annoying,
Granny.
but I always put it on her. That's a secret. Don't tell Cole. He won't listen to this, will he?
I won't. Nope.
Yeah. No, but he's a bundle of joy. You know who's really, really connected to that kid is Brooklyn. They have a connection. Now Bo, all of a sudden, with Bo's hair, I mean, it's kind of fun.
He loves them. Like,
Yeah.
Levi loves them. He really does.
It's just interesting to see it. I'm thankful I got to see it.
It is
to
so
see all
it's so
that.
funny to watch too, because like they're just a little bit older than I was whenever they were born.
Yes, that is another fun fact.
And so to watch them like growing up, like I think I taught Brooklyn how to change Levi's diaper not that long ago.
Yes, you
and
did.
I was like, this is weird. Like
Yeah.
I used to change your diapers.
It is a weird family dynamic. You talked about family dynamics, and
Yes.
we'll kind of end on this. We'll wrap this up. Not every family looks the same, and I think that's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of broken families. I'm not a fan of that, but it does happen. There's reasons it happens. We talked about the step thing. I don't really like that step kid thing. Just we're kids. So if you want to have a strong family, take that verbiage out. They're your kids.
I don't think I've ever been referred to as the
No,
step
they're not
kid.
bonus kids. They're just they're your kids. It's part of it. And that's okay. I remember Terry Dirks when I was at Morton Buildings. He'd always say it's perfectly natural. It's perfectly natural to have other kids that aren't yours. He just made it very comfortable.
Yeah.
It stuck with us. But Cooper would be good at that story reminder. But yeah, it's just family dynamics are different, and it's how you take that forward is what makes the difference, in my
Yeah.
opinion. And I'm really proud of you kids. You kids have been through a lot. Nothing overly dramatic, but you guys have been through a lot. And you guys, I'd
lot
put
of
you up
stuff.
against anybody. I really would. You guys are just in Duncan. I mean, he's becoming a young man. He's kind of getting out of the Army, I think.
Yeah.
I
He
mean-
actually just got out technically.
Technically,
This month.
that's what I
Technically
thought.
first of the year, but this month he's done.
okay, that's.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see where his career goes.
Yeah.
The boys, from a father standpoint, boys are a little more terrifying than the girls. However, girls are terrifying in general. But yeah, no, I'm just proud of you guys. I'm proud of everything you've gone through. I'm proud of your leadership, and that you don't cave when things get tough, because things have gotten tough for you, and you stood your ground. And you got a beautiful family, beautiful little house in Bloomfield. I just couldn't be more proud of you guys. So I want to have you back at some point. We got to get some podcasts under our belt here, so to speak. But keep up the good work and stay close to your husband. And between you two, another piece of advice, and I'll leave you with this. Mm-hmm. And I wish I'd have learned this a long time ago. Your marriage, don't let anybody in. Mm. It's you and him, you and Cole. Don't let anybody else in. That is the biggest mistake anybody can make in a marriage. It's between you and your husband. Yeah. And if you guys can't figure it out after that, you know what you got to do. Pray about it. But it should never really get that deep.
Yeah.
The moment you let outsiders in, a friend, a mom, a dad, whatever, all of a sudden it's broken. So I'd encourage you, anybody, your relationship, even if it's going south, keep it between you two.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a mess. So I love you. I'm proud of you, and I can't wait to see the Smither. Y'all have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.